All right, 2.2 circles. So basically, we're going to be finding the equations of circles given a center and a radius. That's like the bulk of this section. And then sometimes giving it a circle equation, finding it. So to start with, we have a center at the point 0, 0. So that means it's centered around the origin. And a radius of 9. And I want to write the equation of a circle. Now, the general form of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared, where h and k are the radius, or sorry, hk is the center and r is the radius. So in this case, my center is at 0, 0, so all I have on the left side is x squared and y squared because h is 0, k is 0. So this is going to be x squared plus y squared is equal to, they give us radius, so I'm just plugging that in for r. Now, the thing you have to realize is they're giving you radius, but this is actually r squared. Okay, so we don't need to square it because they've already given you the radius. Let me verify that and make sure. Wait, I lied. We do have to square it. We do have to square it. I was thinking they were telling us that that's what the entire radius was. But r is 9, so we would do 9 squared. Now, you can either leave it that way or rewrite it as x squared plus y squared equals 81. Now, they want you to graph them. I'm not going to ask you to graph them. But it basically would just be a circle with a radius of 9. And it would go at 9 on the x, y, and so on and so forth to make a circle. So, let's see, what's next? Let's look at 18. So we get one that actually has a center. This one has a center at 4, 3 and a radius of 5. So now, notice this formula. H and K here are positive, okay? In the formula, it's minus, okay? So that means that we just plug the numbers straight into the formula. If these were negative numbers, we would change the signs in here. Okay, so as long as they're positive, this is the form that we follow. So this one will be, in parentheses, x minus h's x value, so that's 4 squared plus y minus k, which is 3 squared, is equal to 5 squared, or you can write it as 25. Either way is fine. So if the values are positive, they get plugged in exactly. If they're negative, they change the sign. So if we have something like 22, where we have a center at negative square root of 3, negative square root of 3, and we're told that the radius is the square root of 3. Then both of these are negative, which means in this formula, these are going to become positive because the formula would be minus. So this is going to be x plus the square root of 3 squared plus y plus the square root of 3 squared is equal to the square root of 3 squared. So if it's positive numbers, copy exactly. If they're negative numbers, we change the sign of h and k in the formula. Now, it is possible for one of the numbers to be positive and one of the numbers to be negative. So if that happens, then obviously you just change the one. It's also possible that your center could be at like negative 5, 0 or something, and so you only have like x plus 5 and then like squared plus y squared because there's no k value in that situation. So just know that that's possible as well. All right, the next ones, which is the only other thing that we're doing in this section, says to decide whether or not each equation has a circle as its graph. If it does, give the center and radius. If not, describe the graph. So 28. It gives us x squared plus y squared plus 8x minus 6y plus 16 equals 0. So at initial glance, does this look like the equation of a circle?
No.
No, it doesn't. But we don't know that it's not yet for sure. So what we're going to do is, do you remember how to complete the square? Sort of, maybe not really. Heard of it at least. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to complete the square twice. And so I'm going to move this 16 over, and then I'm going to line up the x's and the y's together on the left side. So this is going to be x squared plus 8x plus, and this is where we do the box, and we're going to figure out what goes in the box, plus y squared minus 6y plus another box, so this is where it's a little different than what we've done in the past, is equal to negative 16. And then because I'm adding 2 boxes on the left, I need to add 2 boxes on the right. So the way we do completing the square is we take the number that's in front of my just x or just y value, and we half it, and then we square it. Okay, so half the middle term squared is my little phrase to remember for that. So half of 8 is 4. 4 squared is 16. Now, over here, I'm going to write it as 4 squared, and you'll see why in just a second. But on this side over here, I'm going to go ahead and write it as 16. And then what would the term going in the box be for this one?
9.
Yep.
Would just be
9, yeah, because it'll be a negative value squared. So, so this is going to be 3 squared or 9. So now what I have is a perfect square trinomial, okay, for my x's. So I can do x plus 4 quantity squared. So this is x plus 4 squared plus, I'm going to do the same thing for y's. So this is going to be y, but now it's a minus because the middle term is negative, so it's going to be y minus 3 squared. And so that's why I just write these as whatever the number is squared, because that tells me what number is going in the parentheses. Is equal to, what is happening? Yeah, there we go. Is equal to 9. And so now this is my equation of the circle. Okay, so where is my center? Yep. So, but remember the form is x minus h, y minus k. Yeah, it's -4 and +3. So the sign for your center is always opposite whatever the sign in the equation is. Basically is the easy way to remember it. Whatever sign you have up here, flip it for the center. And that works with the problems that we just did too. Whatever your center was, change the sign when you put it in the formula. Now, the radius then is what? 9. No. 3. Square root this. Remember, because it's r squared. I know I confused you with the first problem because I had something written down wrong and I was like, this doesn't look right. That's why I had to go check it. I'll take the fault on that one for you. I won't on the quiz because I've corrected it now. But so the center is -4, 3, and the radius is 3.
Oh, that makes sense. It's like going reverse.
Yeah, basically we just did the opposite of what we did in the first problems. All right, I'm going to do one more of these. Now, the thing to remember is to complete the square in front of your squared value. So in front of x squared and y squared. Where's y squared? Oh, right there. It can only have a +1. Okay, if it doesn't have a +1, we cannot complete the square. So I'm only going to give you problems that have the +1 in front of them, because otherwise you can't do them. So 36 x squared plus y squared plus 4x plus 4y plus 8 equals 0. Pan down. All right, so just like in the last problem, I'm going to reorder some stuff. Let's try to focus the screen back in. So I'm going to have x squared plus 4x plus a box plus y squared plus 4y plus a box is equal to -8 plus a box plus a box. Maybe. So what is going in these boxes?
2 squared.
2 squared, and that's going to be for both because they both have a 4 in the middle. So that means over here, I've got a 4 and a 4. So what does this, the x part, factor into over here?
X plus 2 squared.
Yep. X plus 2 squared plus, what does this part factor into?
Y plus 2 squared.
Yep, y plus 2 squared equals 0. Now, is this an equation of a circle?
No.
Why?
I just want to say no just in case it was no. Wait.
You're right. It's not. But why?
Yes. Oh, because the zero. You can't have a
Yeah,
zero.
you can't have a zero radius.
Don't laugh at me.
Can't have a circle if you have no radius. So this one would not be a circle.
What were we saying, Tristan?
So as long as it has a center, because the center can be 0, 0, remember, and a radius, then it is a circle. Any questions on that or feel like we need to see any more? Okay. All right, then I'm only giving you a couple because obviously we didn't do a ton with this section, but that's really all this section is. Is going to be 13, 19, 27, and 33.
And this is 2 point what?
2.2.